All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, so we are getting closer. We're, less than 2.5 weeks away from the biggest strawweight title fight in a while. Zhang Weili taking on Tatiana Suarez February 8th. I mean, man, this thing's right around the corner. Just think about it. Like, after this weekend, it's only, two more weekends? Yeah, 2 more weekends. So, yeah, man, I'm ready, man. I'm excited for this one. I've been, checking out the behind the scenes, seeing what these fighters are doing. And, I'm just ready. I'm really ready at this point, man. But, yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of talk about this fight here real quick. This ain't my prediction yet, but just watching some videos, watching Zhang Weili doing her strength and conditioning and, kind of looking at the behind the scenes of Tatiana Suarez, whose game plan we're still not really sure of, what type of style she's going to have. What type of approach she's going to have, what type of evolution is Tatiana going to show, a lot of these different questions I have right now, and, just seeing Zhang Weili putting in a lot of work, it just pops up in my head every time, these questions. As a fight fan, I always have these crazy questions. I always be playing out scenarios in my head. And the one question I have is, what approach is Zhang Weili and Tatiana Suarez going to take in this fight? I know that we'll know on fight night, of course, right? And we already know what Suarez does, and we know what Zhang Weili is capable of. But I just keep wondering to myself, like, what is the best approach for both of these fighters right now? And the more I think about it, I kind of think, okay, sometimes, when you have two fighters that have respect like this, they might take more of a cautious approach. But then again, man, you got somebody like Suarez, who's a dog, and Zhang Weili, who's a warrior and a dog as well. They could just collide in there and make for, like an explosive type of fight, right? So I could see a finish in this fight, but at the same time, I could see like a respectful decision, which I really don't want to see in this type of fight here. Ever since I've, knew that Zhang Weili was going to take on Suarez, or that potential was there from years ago, I've always said, I want to see like these two go at it, like in the worst way possible. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see some technique, but I really want to see these two go at it. I want to see them go strength for strength and dog for dog at times, I'm hoping for like a 5-round fight, at least go 5 rounds until we get a finish. But, yeah, man. So, yeah, I just keep asking myself, man, like, what's the best approach for Zhang Weili and Tatiana going into this fight? Well, for me, I'll just keep it basic, man. Like, I think the best approach for both of these fighters is to really go for what they know. I think Zhang Weili and Tatiana, they need to go for what they know in this fight. Tatiana Suarez, looking at her first, she is the wrestler here. She's the dedicated wrestler, the decorated wrestler. So I think it's important that, she doesn't really make too many major changes, but still comes in as that wrestler. I think she can use her predictability to her advantage in this fight. I think she's able to do that because I think that Tatiana Suarez, of course, is one of the strongest, or maybe the strongest strawweights in the division. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's probably the physically strongest fighter in the division. So, with that being said, I think she'll be able to lure somebody like Zhang Weili into trying to go strength for strength with her. You know what I mean? Like, Zhang Weili's going through a lot of good strength and conditioning right now. She might be feeling herself. She might be able to get pulled into that type of wrestling match. So, Zhang Weili, knowing that Tatiana is going to want to wrestle, she might want to test her wrestling. And then Suarez might say, all right, this girl's coming at me, wants to wrestle me, then boom, I can do what I do. You know what I mean? So I think that Suarez, she's going to have to be that wrestler. She's going to have to be that type of force that likes to put a lot of pressure on, make Zhang Weili overextend at times, make her throw leg kicks, make her throw body kicks, put a lot of pressure to make her cagey. So Zhang Weili might get a little reckless in there where she can find that opening to either clip her to land her own shot just to get Zhang Weili off balance and get her respect, or, go ahead and dive in, drop that level or grab one of them legs and take her down and put her on her back, So I think that Tatiana Suarez, whatever approach she takes, as long as, she's protecting her chin, I think she will be able to put a lot of pressure on Zhang Weili early. Her wrestling, like I said, is like no other. Adding the striking, that'll just be like an added bonus, working with Patchy Mix. I think he's definitely helped her work on her like fundamentals. So I'm not saying that that's going to be like a big part, but if she's able to use like timing and land maybe like some good solid jabs or right hands to the chin of Zhang Weili, maybe she could shake her up a little bit or even just keep her at a distance for a while until she's ready to dive in. But at the same time, when she's doing this, I think she needs to use a lot of forward pressure with her striking. Not a lot of, angles and side to side or outside striking from Suarez, but it has to be shotgun jabs, meaning, coming forward, putting a lot of pressure on behind some long shots, to really get Zhang Weili's respect. So really, I think, Suarez just needs to really build off of her wrestling, bring in what she knows. At the same time, set traps with it, play possum a few times, whenever she's in the clinch, maybe make Zhang Weili think she's getting the best of her, and then boom, take her down, try to get the back, or, put Zhang Weili on her back, So I think wherever it goes on the ground, Tatiana Suarez would be favored, because she has the heavy ground and pound, the elbows, the top control, just overall physical strength. Now, Zhang Weili has strong hips now, so don't get me wrong, like she will be bucking. But I think that when it comes to position and seeing what Rose done in the past, Suarez has that advantage. She just has to build off of it first on the feet. Zhang Weili, going back to her, like I said, she's a fighter. I believe she needs to go for what she knows. And what I mean by that is she's a well-rounded fighter. She's been able to build more experience than Tatiana Suarez. She's been in more wars. She's been in there with better fighters. So it's up to Zhang Weili to use her athleticism, her elusiveness, her better striking, her brawling style. Just a little bit more she has in the toolbox to use here to come away with the decision or even clip or hurt Suarez. I really don't see her having to be the better wrestler here or try to come in there with the ego and go in there and try to go at her strength for strength. Now, if she's able to hurt Suarez early and break her down, and I mean break her down from the legs to the body, and then she feels like, okay, she's weak now, then I can show off a little something, then fine. But I don't really think that's going to happen against Suarez, because Suarez, she's built different, So I think it's important for Zhang Weili to go for what she knows as far as taking it back to her basics, as far as, using that in and out style, landing combinations to the body and to the head and kind of going from there. I think Zhang Weili has the speed to pick her shots and, like I said, even surprise Suarez with a couple of heavy bombs. So, yeah, when I look at it, going back to the roots here with Zhang Weili would make it more interesting, with her added boxing IQ that she's worked with Nonito Donaire, and just her footwork has gotten better, and her hands have gotten a little bit heavier. It seems like she's sitting on her shots a little bit more. So I think it's important that, she sets her overhand right up in this fight, sets it up. And if it goes to the ground, like Suarez goes down, it's important that, Zhang Weili builds a lead by, landing a lot of shots and throwing volume, heavy volume like she did against Lemos, Don't spend too much time trying to look for position or anything like that. Even look for submission. I think she has that added bonus going for her now. So, yeah, man, I'm just looking at the different levels of Zhang Weili. That's why I'm saying, like, her doors are open a little bit more. I think it's Tatiana Suarez who has to use her main strength to her advantage in this fight and actually use it against Zhang Weili, not just physically, but mentally as well. Because, like I said, she could talk this thing up and make Zhang Weili possibly go on an ego trip and make her want to wrestle with her. Or, Zhang Weili could go in there and say, hey, let me take this back to my old school ways, could be in and out with my style, clip this girl up a little bit, and then we can build off of that. But it's going to be an interesting fight, y'all. So what do y'all think, man? Do y'all want to see Weili adapt like water in this one? Or do you want to see her just go in there and try to set Tatiana Suarez on fire with, combinations and movement? Because adapting like water against somebody like Suarez could be dangerous. You might go in there and get drowned. I'm just saying. But Combo Breaker 99, guys, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button, and always comment, guys. And appreciate y'all. But I'll be back with another live here pretty soon. I've just been really busy. So, yeah, tune in, subscribe, peace.